Back on X-12, the residents of Resupply gathered around the nightly campfire. Till managed to convince Kisa to leave her room, even though she was still a crying mess. He knew campfires were one of her favorite things. Just like that, they're gone, Kisa cried. We didn't even get to see the magnificent ship take off. They just warped the entire thing off world. Stupid wizard. Well, it's smart. I imagine that the ship would move the planet before itself. I don't know if X-12 could handle that. Till's response was sharper than intended. He was still pondering the wizard's words. What did you expect? For them to stay here forever? Kisa looked at Till, pretending to be fine, while tears streamed down her face. Oh, come now, Kisa. They'll be fine, Till said. I know, she sobbed. I just hate goodbyes. Except it's not goodbye, Till reassured. We'll be picked up by the Galactic Alliance within the next couple days. Then, we only have 2 years, and those three will be the biggest thing to enter the halls of the Academy. You wait and see. Interrupting Till's progress, a wailing belch stole everyone's attention. They're gone. They're gone, Grant said sadly. But he's gone, he then said with drunken glee. The three of them. I can't believe it. What are you crying about? Till asked, giving the huffing and puffing drama queen his attention. I was so close, you know. If I could have sent them to the GA myself, Grant said, with chunky tears rolling down his greasy face. Think of the commission. Arrow may have been hit or miss, but those other two were worth something. This is one of those moments where you should really think about what you say, Till said. I'm drunk, and I don't care, Grant sloppily replied. The racket calmed as everyone returned to the fire. The night became darkest at the second passing of X-12's artificial moon. All were tired. Nurse, liaison, and headmaster alike each made their own way home. It wasn't that Till didn't feel the sting of the trio's departure. He unfortunately just had more practice. Arriving home, Till checked his computer, confirming Major Lessie's position and the exact 2-day arrival. He knew there was hope on the horizon. He knew they would reach safety behind the GA's dome and that he and Kisa would undoubtedly see the trio again. They're gonna be fine. And when we see them again, I know they'll be strong, Till said to himself before going to bed. The next morning, a blaring alarm shook the station, one Till had never hoped to hear. He woke, kicking the covers off and scrambling to his feet. No, no, no! Tripping over himself to get to his computer, Till confirmed the alarm code flashing on screen. His stomach sank as every liaison's greatest fear came to be. They're here! Slamming the big red button, the blaring alarm echoed through town. Only a second later, Grant belched into the comms. Come now, liaison. There's no need for such an aggravated wake-up call. It is too early to. They're here, you oaf! Contact Major Lessie and let them know the shadow is here. Then gather everyone you can at the refugee center. Be prepared to leave, but also be prepared to fight. I will arrive as soon as I can. Over. On it, Grant replied with a surprising amount of gusto. Where's Kisa? Till thought. As if summoned by his mind, the station's door slid open. Kisa marched in, sporting her old battle gear and modified energy rifle. What's the plan? She said, awkwardly shifting to get her weapon through the door. We have to prepare those who haven't already left, Till answered. Their attention was drawn to the computer when the alarm screen switched to a geographical location just outside of town. Kisa and Till remained in stoic silence as the screen zoomed in one frame at a time until stopping on the oddly popular tree just outside town. The Herald, along with a squad of unsavory characters, twisted and compiled themselves from the surroundings. At the sight, Till and Kisa were forced to summon their former selves, reconnecting to the battle-hardened experiences they worked so hard to bury. Another alert window appeared in the top corner of the screen. Incoming, 2 organic masses entering the atmosphere, the computer AI reported. A second alert window popped up, displaying a planetary map and the space beyond X-12's atmosphere. Sarush, help us, Till prayed. Beyond the small herd of ships already escaping into space, an encroaching dark mass was overtaking the map. No god can help us now, Kisa replied. It looks like we'll have enough time to get out of here before their armada arrives, Till said. We will have to evade some serious firepower, but we should be able to make a clean getaway. Computer, begin reckoning protocol. Launch all drones and armed defense systems. Set turrets to DSS response fire. On the furthest left screen, displaying a top down view of resupply, Till could see the individual drone stations powering on and emerging from their hidden ports. When the seismic alarms screeched and the planet shook from the impact of the two large masses, they knew it was time. Kisa, take the transport and get anyone not in a magmod to the refugee center. Radio me when you take position on the roof. What are you gonna do? Kisa said, moving towards the door. Hopefully buy some time. As Kisa set off for the transport, Till left his computer, entering his bedroom and supply depot. Opening the furthest locker from the door, he revealed an emergency armory. Never thought I'd have to use this. Scanning his eyes, the armory unlocked, hissing as it slid open. Running through the instructions displayed on the inside wall, Till trotted back to his computer to grab his helmet. Returning, he plunged both arms into the receptacles secured at the center of the locker. Gears turned and his hands were locked into a pair of Mark II power gloves. Several mechanical tubes emerged, spitting a silver liquid onto his forearms. The shimmering viscous liquid crawled up his arms and down the rest of his body. As the metallic liquid formed, it was absorbed by his suit. Undulating, his suit morphed into a more battle-appropriate design. Removing his armored hands, Till slid the forming mounts on his forearms into shield dispensers. Detaching from the wall with the new devices, Till began to load his utility belts with various types of explosives. I think these will come in handy for the distraction. Lastly, he pulled an energy sword from its charging port on the back wall of the locker, and a multi-ammo handheld weapon from a cubby at the bottom, otherwise known as the Maw. Emerging from his room ready for battle, Till took one more look at the computer, ensuring everything was moving into place. Stepping out of the station, Till took a deep breath before trotting out of town. Kisa's calm voice reached out over the comms. In position. Over. Copy, I'm coming up on them now, Till replied. Venturing beyond the defensive range of resupply, Till arrived, only able to see the silhouettes of the Shadow's forces. They twitched in a trance-like state behind a hazy, putrid fog that swallowed the tree at the top of the hill. I am Liaison Till of the Galactic Alliance. You are hereby trespassing in galactic territory. Drop your barrier and surrender your weapons. Stepping forth from the enshrouded hillside, the herald presented himself, his collar somehow bigger than last time. Ah, good day to you, Till. Welcome to the set. There is more to come still. We are not ready yet. The herald's face spasmed, revealing his crooked yellow teeth as he attempted a smile. I am Liaison Till of the Galactic Alliance. You are here illegally. Surrender your weapons and stand down. Oh, no, no, our little town hero, for the dinner bell rung and the wait time 0. But before you meet your end, I would like to introduce you to some of my friends. With a quick whistle and two mirrored side-armed swipes of the herald's hands, the ground began to tremble. Within the foggy haze, two greater shadows appeared. Okay, Till, here we go, he said to himself. Bumbling and stomping towards him, the two beasts fought each other for the honor of pleasing their master. One remained behind the veil. The other beast, bullying its way into sight, was 5 tons of muscle and armor. Kisa, analysis, Till requested. A 6-armed cephalothorax, class 7 armor plating on its entire body. Nothing in the maw is going to pierce that shell. I suggest you evade its attacks until I can get properly warmed up, Kisa responded. Your sense of humor amazes me, but your lack of faith is new. I think you forgot about its insides. You've forgotten about my insides, Kisa joked. I knew you were going to say that, Till replied. Unwilling to play further into Kisa's usual games, Till selected his most devastating ammo, a shell that detonates on impact, sending hundreds of smaller explosives in every direction. Till loaded the maw. Holding out his arm, he aimed for the pulsing orifice charging towards him. Taking no chances, Till fired. With unfortunate timing, the beast closed its circular mouth, deflecting the shell into the sky and preventing its first phase ignition. Reloading, Till had time to fire one more shot, this time with great success. As the shell entered the gaping mouth of the 6-armed cephalothorax, Till had just enough time to engage his forearm shields and prevent the remaining chunks of the beast's body from raining down upon him. Till's confidence was on the rise. One down, now for the other. Looking around, Till waited for the second beast to attack, but to his surprise, nothing. I guess it isn't continuing the charge. It's either shy or smart. I'm not seeing anything on the scanners, Kisa said. Maybe there's interference from the previous bout. Not likely, Till replied. I think this one is different. The vigor of battle swelled through Till. Switching the maw to a semi auto energy blast and reloading his forearm shields, the liaison was prepared. Inching forward, he reached the edge of the enemy's barrier. Till ran his sword along the edge of the shroud, dropping beads of crackling energy from the blade. Calming himself, Till held his position. Without a sound, the dust parted. Ducking in the nick of time, Till dodged two curved scythes swinging for his neck. The near-death experience had a time-slowing effect, allowing Till to see how crudely the scythes were bolted to the end of the beast's bone-like arms. This one is definitely different, Till screamed as he ran to a safer distance. Turning back, he assessed the beast emerging from the dust. I'm seeing close to the same size, but much leaner, Issa said. It has the same level of armor, 8 total arms, 6 to crawl around, the other 2 clearly meant for slashing. I estimate this beast is at least 2 times faster. Oh, and it's white, not dead and rotting brown like the other. Should be fun, Till replied. Stepping back within striking distance, Till widened his stance, ready to test himself. Severely underestimating its speed, in a flash, the mutated ant-like creature was upon him. Timing the attacks, Till patiently danced between death swipes, waiting for his moment to strike. Sliding beneath an overextended attack, Till found his opening. Driving his sword upward, he plunged the energy blade into the chest of the deadly beast. Take that! Attempting to remove his dripping blade, Till's soaring confidence shattered as the snapping head of the formic beast curled under to look at what he had done. Shrieking in anger, the beast took off running. Unwilling to let go of his blade, Till was dragged across the ground as bile poured down upon him. His enhanced armor could block many things, but it wasn't enough to block the putrid smell oozing from the beast. Firing the maw over and over into the beast's armored stomach had no effect other than making it angrier. Done carrying the pestering stowaway, the ant-like beast reared back, flinging Till onto the ground. Slicing and smashing, the beast kept Till pinned down. Remaining calm, Till let his enhanced suit do the work. I'm getting low on shields, are you ready? Keeping Till pinned, the beast curled its head closer, exposing its pincer-lined mouth. Snapping as it widened its neck and unhinged its jaw, the formic beast prepared to swallow Till whole. Any time now! Kisa! Kisa! Just before Till was eaten, a hypersonic energy projectile collided with the beast, boring a hole through its thorax and abdomen. The perforated mound of bug flesh fell lifeless, showering Till in bile and excrement before falling on top of him. You okay? Kisa sweetly asked. I'm okay. I'm okay. I love it when you scream my name, she giggled. Oh, Sarush, help me. I guess I've lost a step or two. Oh well. Uh, of course. I'm stuck, Till reported. Don't worry, I won't tell anybody, Kisa replied. A cacophony of cheering voices rang over the comms. Grant's bulbous voice pierced through the crowd in the refugee center. Don't worry, liaison, you got this. Give them hell. Great, everyone is watching. Kisa's faint laughter through the comms was halted by the herald, waving his hands and commanding 3 of his soldiers from their twitchy stasis. 3 incoming, Kisa said, locking in. I need time to charge for another shot. You need to move. Unable to do so, Till prepared to enact the evac protocol on his suit and eject himself from his predicament. Before he did, he noticed something odd about the approaching enemy soldiers. They weren't running towards him, they were heading for the back of the dead beast. The first soldier, in a full sprint, dove into the smoldering hole created by Kisa's attack, his mass absorbing into the lifeless pile. The second followed, and the carcass jolted as the still smoldering hole through the center of the creature began to heal itself. Issa, are you seeing this? By the time the third soldier jumped into the pile of flesh, Till could see the dead, cloudy eyes of the formic beast flicker with life. The monster kicked, twitched, then rose from the grave. Hold on, Till, I'm still recharging. Fire! Till squealed. Still trapped by the reanimating mass, Till could not escape the snapping jaws of the formic beast. When Kisa's second shot finally made it downrange, her aim was true, but it was too late. Till's right arm, past the elbow, was bitten off. On the positive side, the second shot hit hard enough to free Till from the reanimated beast. Scrambling to his feet, his suit had already begun several reactionary protocols, reprogramming the absorbed nanites to seal his wound. Till gazed down at the shimmering stump, mesmerized as the nanites reformed themselves into a replacement arm. Stims poured into his bloodstream, taking quick effect to keep him going as he relocated the deadly beast. Like him, its damaged parts were regrowing themselves. Fully emerged from the enshrouded barrier, the Herald was unamused by Kisa's interference. With a sharp hiss, two more soldiers ran towards the scuttling ant like beast. The Herald only had 5 soldiers left at his disposal, but the twice revived beast was more than dangerous enough. Kill him and move on to the town. We don't want our headliner to arrive with a frown, the Herald commanded. As the formic beast clambered to its multiple feet, Till was defenseless. Managing to dodge several more attacks, he was eventually cornered. In the last second before he met his demise, Kisa sped past in the transport, leveling the beast and saving his life. Parking the transport between Till and the advancing enemies, Kisa opened both hatches. As she stepped out one side to help Till, a band of Jerpas poured out the other, musically battling the Shadow's forces with strange weapons of their own design. Fixated on the 3-horned Jerpa, rocking out on an electric guitar piano that created a protective barrier around the area, Till could not believe what he was seeing. With the cocktail of battle drugs flowing through his system, the colors and sounds were euphoric. We've never seen them so wild. Does the music help them fight? Is it how they fight? He wondered. I've got him! Let's go! Kisa shouted, taking the helm of the transport. The Jerpas piled back in, covering their retreat as they sped towards town. Land on top of the station, Till groaned. What? Kisa replied. Land on top of the station, Till commanded with a slur. The transport will automatically connect. You will need to get below. Once you're at the command center, enter the code Pegasus. The computer will handle it from there. What's the plan, Till? The transport isn't strong enough to fly us all out of orbit, Kisa challenged. Trust me, we'll be fine, Till reassured with a laugh. Landing atop the station, it was as Till said. Several ports opened, allowing the transport to securely dock. Everyone but Till disembarked and climbed their way down the station's entrance. Hanging back, Kisa had to ask, Are you sure you're okay? Oh, yeah, don't worry about me. I can feel the second round of stims kicking in now, Till said, fiddling with his new arm. After Kisa left him with a smile, Till began adjusting the transport settings, preparing for what came next. Okay, the code has been entered, Kisa announced through the comms. Do you see the active magmods on the furthest left screen? Yes. Perfect. Tell everyone to hold on tight. It's going to be a bumpy ride. The transport struggled to rise with the additional load. With no time for caution, Till slammed the accelerator, dragging the station into town. Punching in a series of commands, the transport began emitting a deep warble. Beacon is set. I hope everyone's holding on, Till reminded. Circling the market, the linked magmods lit up and began to push through their storefronts. It's working! Till's laughter rang through the comms as the magmods attached themselves to the station. Coming online, the magmods provided extra power, allowing the amalgamation of technologies to take flight. Bouncing around, Till piloted the growing ship down the main strip towards the refugee center. Retrieving the active magmods, Till's plan was going smoothly until the formic beast broke through the town's defenses. Bursting onto the street in front of them, the beast smiled, ready to recommence the unfinished battle. Brace! Till screamed. Accessing even more power, he accelerated the amalgamation of technology, flattening the Shadow's beast standing in their way. When 2 large creeped up from below and embedded themselves in the front of the transport, Till knew it wasn't over. Pulling itself up, the formic beast glared through the clear Dissipian crystal shield of the transport. Using 4 of its legs to hold itself in place, the beast used its crudely attached sais to slash at the ship while its 2 remaining hands pulled at the cleaved metal. Till could see his burning sword still stuck in his chest, dripping raw molten energy mixed with bile. Arriving at their destination, Till had to think fast. How about this? Slamming the brakes, he sent the formic beast tumbling down the road, crashing into empty storage buildings just past the refugee center. Perfectly parked in front of the refugee center's doors, Till began shouting at his radio. Grot, I hope you're ready. It's now or never. As the formic beast exhumed itself from the rubble, Till screamed into the comms. Hurry! The large doors of the refugee center slammed open. Grant and several others came out shooting the weakened beast, taking it down for good. It's as I suspected, Liaison, Grant shouted. The shadow have finally come knocking. Grant was relishing in the exhilaration of combat. I see you lost an arm. Pity. Till could only roll his eyes. Just get everyone in. There are more on the way. Opening the door of the station, Kisa and the band of Jerpas ushered everyone aboard. Grant stood guard as the last of the locals boarded the amalgamation. That's when the Shadow's forces revealed themselves. We're surrounded, Kisa announced. The remaining Shadow forces rose from the surrounding roofs, each wielding mid-range dark energy weapons of different designs. The Herald accumulated from the scraps of meat left behind by the formic beast. In his hand, a purple glowing dark energy pistol. So sad, my favorite pet, so sad indeed. Do not fret, my favorite pet, leave the rest to me. Turning towards the refugee center, the herald approached before addressing his audience. What is it you think you are doing? The show has just begun. We will not take any booing. Don't ruin all our fun. I can't stand this lunatic, Grant chuffed. Stepping from cover, the headmaster fired his illegal antique weapon at the herald. Dead bugs and critters fell to the ground as the herald faltered. Still, the tall-collared foe made no attempt to evade the barrage of bullets. It is too late. Your fates are sealed. Resist if you want. You are still our mew, the herald said in a deep, disembodied tone. Calmly waiting to be restored, the herald swiped his hands, and his soldiers sprang to life, beginning the battle of resupply. Voided streaks of purple and black dark energy spewed from the enemy's weapons. Till prepared his maw and gave his final order. We have to fight back, or the ship will be destroyed! Opening the hatches of the transport, Till stepped forth to begin a counterattack. Taking down his first target, the blue streaks of energy fired from his weapon gained too much attention. In an instant, Till's right leg below the knee was gone. Dodging the continued barrage of fire, Till crawled to cover on the opposite side of the transport. In shock, he looked down and happened to see Grant, who still seemed to be enjoying himself. Noticing Till, Grant cracked a smile before retreating behind the doors of the refugee center. What's he doing? Till thought. Fully reformed, the herald joined the fight, forcing Till to retreat within the transport. What are we waiting for? Kisa screamed through the chaos. At the sight of his missing foot, Till's heartbeat muffled the sound of battle along with Kisa's cries. One by one, every attachment on Till's suit fell to the floor as the last of the nanites capped the wound and formed into a crude peg leg. Looking around, Till's attention was drawn to the string of explosives he had planned to use as a distraction. He could only watch as the pressure from the barrage of dark energy rounds pushed his distraction out of the transport. Woken from his stupor by the loss of his diversionary tools, Till climbed to the helm. Grant, we're back inside the refugee center, he finally replied. I don't know what to do. As silence spread over the battlefield, signaling the enemy's simultaneous reload, the herald's annoying laughter rang loud. Just before all hope was lost, the loud clinking of metal, sprinkled by the sound of an air ratchet, echoed from the depths of the refugee center. The great doors were kicked from their hinges, one of which smushing the herald. Stomping out of the refugee center came a rusty battle mech, piloted by none other than Headmaster Grant. You want to fight? Well, you got it! The headmaster roared in a squealing rage. Grant wasted no time, shooting an explosive round towards the reforming herald and splitting him into several pieces. Running full speed towards the nearest soldier, Grant sent it flying with a single blow. Coming around the ship, he drew the fire of the remaining soldiers. Of course he has an unregistered mech suit, Till thought. Till, how long until we can take off? Kisa asked. I need to program the pre-launch protocols. Once they are done calculating, we'll be ready to go. I can take us up enough to avoid their weapons. Grant should be able to meet us before takeoff. The amalgamation of technology slowly ascended into the sky as Till began the pre-launch protocols. Kisa, the ship has sustained heavy damage, Till said. You need to get everyone out of the magmods and into the station. Copy. Waiting for the final stages before takeoff, Till looked down. He could see Grant waiting for the Shadow's forces to reform, stomping them out one at a time as they did. What is he doing? That thing should easily be able to make it this high. Grant, come in, Grant, Till shouted into the comms. What's the plan? We're ready to go. Fire that mech up and let's get out of here. Oh no, my boy. This is my home. Ain't leaving unless I'm dead. I'm too old and too tired. You get everyone out of here. I'll make sure they regret the day they came to resupply. You old fool. There's an armada on the way. Get your ass up here. We're not going anywhere until you're on board. Till's voice wavered. Oh, well then. See you shortly, Grant replied. Surveying the area, Till could see that the Herald had pulled himself from under the large door and was nearly his full self again. Grant, you got incoming from the refugee center. Grant! Till received no response. Then it happened. Day turned to night, and from the darkness, the herald's voice could be heard. Come one, come all, this is the final call. The show will commence in your lives ending forth hence. Do you ever shut up? Grant said, restarting his warpath. Battling the Herald and his remaining soldiers, Grant's valiant charge was successful, buying the remaining time needed for the ship to reach a safe height and prepare for space travel. But it was too late. Taking aim, the Herald fired one final shot with his dark energy pistol. Possessed by the approaching beast, the Herald boomed, shaking the planet. Let the show begin. The Herald, along with his troops, melted back into the creepy components they came from. What's happening? Kisa shouted. I guess it wasn't an armada after all. Major Lessie's monster is here. I'm coming down to the station. It's time to leave. I programmed the launch protocol into the big red button. Push it if anything happens. Climbing down from the transport, Till could see nothing moving on the ground below. Grant, it looks like the coast is clear. Wheezing into the comms, Grant winced with pain. Start your takeoff. I'll attach myself to the ship. In a moment. Just wrapping things up down here. Everyone listening could tell that Grant had been injured. Stepping inside, Till looked at Kisa. Press the button. She did, and the Magmods ignited their boosters, pushing the amalgamation of technology towards space. Where's Grant? Kisa asked. He said he's going to catch up, Till said, reassuring himself. You can monitor his path on the screen. I'll be waiting outside to grab him. The terrible situation turned worse when the seismic alarm, followed by the power level alarm, rang through the station. The main screen was overtaken by a live image of Major Lessie's monster, which was so big it didn't even fit on the screen. Voices from the crowded station wailed with anguish. There is no hope of survival! We are doomed! Where's the Galactic Alliance? They cried. What is it? Kisa asked. Till couldn't respond as fear seemed to reach out from the screen and take hold of him. The monster crept closer, its hammerhead alone bigger than X-12. Even on the screen they could see the smoking, smoldering, iridescent flames billowing from its putrid body as it smashed through X-12's fragile orbit. I don't know what it is, but it's clearly defiled by evil and dark magic. Either way, it doesn't matter. It's heading straight towards us, and we're pushing through the ozone. We can't turn. Till's body faltered as the second round of stims gave way. Stretching forward, Kisa caught him, safely guiding him to the floor. Embracing each other, Kisa and Till attempted to share the love they had kept hidden for so long. Holding an unbroken gaze, they relived every wonderful memory within the depths of each other's reptilian eyes. Entangling in their final moment, Kisa and Till shared a final kiss. Through all the chaos, they knew their love was true. As the planet-sized monster descended upon them, one of the smaller screens flickered, displaying something small, rocketing towards them from X-12's surface. I, son of the ivory horde, fear none but my mother! What's he doing? Kisa cried. The light has shone in the darkness, Grant shouted. The tides of balance shifted. You spawn of evil hold no power here, and you hold no power over me. Grant flew past, carrying Till's lost explosives. He moved with such speed his mech burned from the thickening ozone layer. The last thing the station could hear was the guttural laughter of Headmaster Grant as he challenged their doom. The explosion of Grant's final act was glorious, turning the gargantuan monster enough to miss the ship. As it passed, all could see the squirming mane of the tentacles running down the monster's back shake from the force of the planetary collision. With a single blow, X-12 ruptured into several pieces. The energy released from X-12's destruction created a supernova, pushing planetary debris in every direction. Although the amalgamation of technology had safely made it to space, they were unable to avoid the incoming debris propelled by the cloud of fire and death. Till and Kisa did all they could, but it was not enough.